following program was made possible by Von Fee Stanton Foundation and viewers like you.
There's a human rights for all. We will stop the fascism instead. Terrorize the president. We're the older king and dance. We're under ideology. We gotta say a lot of stuff without what's fucking obvious like yes.
The pangolins of punk. Cheap Perfume.
Oh man, too bad we already named the album.
But we got complacent in defending our rights. The Nazi changed their name, now they're called the alt-right. Never thought it happened, but now look where we are. Rather have a rapist and a woman in power. But we got complacent in defending our rights. The Nazis changed their name, now they're called the alt-right. Never thought it happened, but now look where we are. Rather have a rapist and a woman in power.
Hi, I'm Stephen Brackett. I'm here with PBS. I just want to talk a little bit about Cheap Perfume. I got to meet them a little while ago. I got to hang out with them while they were recording their new album. It's going to be titled Don't Care, Didn't Ask, and look for it in the fall. Make some noise for that album, y'all. So with no further ado, I just want you all to know that since we're filming this, the more hype and the more energy you can give this band, the better they will look to the rest of the state. And the whole point of Sounds on 29th is that people know what amazing music is being made in Colorado. So let's make some noise. Let's give some energy to Cheap Perfume. Welcome, Cheap Perfume. How do you all maintain your energy during a show? What place do you go to for that?
For me, I think it's a lot of like looking at the audience, especially when there's like a lot of young folks down there. I've always believed that music is like such an exchange of energy, and so it's definitely coming a lot from there. I think that there's like a rage that is channeled for sure, and then it's also just like fear. Like I'm just scared.
Mine is kind of the opposite. 'Cause when I do karaoke, my trick is I just kind of like close my eyes and just pretend no one's watching me kind of thing, and that's kind of what I do on stage. I just kind of try to zone out. I look at Steph and Willow and Dave because like they're my comfort zones, but then every time I look in the crowd, I'm like, oh, those people are watching. So I also kind of just run around constantly, but more in an insulated, my own little zone kind of thing.
See, I love that because seeing you all perform, nervousness or fear would be the last thing that anybody would project onto y'all. You all have such an ease and such a power. And even the folks that I was like with when they were watching your performance, like power is what they felt from your performance. So I think that says like something incredible. Like, can you all talk to me a bit about how you built your alchemical process that allowed you to take like nervousness and rage and all these things and change it into something that ends up like being a powerful experience for people who listen to your music and see you live?
I mean, I think like most of that comes from Stephanie. Having been in bands with like Willow, we're both kind of timid performers, and Stephanie has never been that. And I think she definitely elevates things for me, and she's the one who really kind of like bridges from the stage to the audience, you know, and kind of gets everybody like in the middle there.
I think that like this has been 10 years in the making of like getting this like confidence together though, and having to build that trust too with like people that like if things go wrong or anything like that, that you can kind of like, you know, bounce off of each other, and it's so fun because it's punk rock. But I think it's a lot of trust, and then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is time and just like knowing each other and feeling comfortable playing the songs, but also like knowing if something goes wrong, we kind of are now at a mindset where we can improvise rather than just kind of everyone shuts down, you know? So I think way more comfortable the last like 3 or 4 years in the band, as far as just being like, if you mess up, it's okay. We're gonna keep going and everyone's gonna get it done.
You can still eat a meal with the blood in your hands. You can still make a deal with the blood in your hands. You can feel welcome here with the blood in your hands. God, something coming to you. You can still eat a meal with the blood in your hands. You can still make a deal with the blood in your hands. And you feel welcome here with the blood in your hands. God, something coming to you. Just a little more work until we can rest. Just a little more work until we can rest. Just a little more work until we can rest. Just a little more work until we can rest. You can still eat a meal with the blood in your hands. You can still make a deal with the blood in your hands. You can feel welcome here with the blood in your hands. God, something coming to you. You can still eat a meal with the blood in your hands. You can still make a deal with the blood in your hands. If you feel welcome here with the blood in your hands. God, something coming to you. Just a little more work until we can rest. Just a little more work until we can rest. Just a little more work until we can rest. Just a little more until we can rest. You can still eat a meal with the blood in your hands. You can still make a deal with the blood in your hands. You can still welcome here with the blood in your hands. God, something coming to you. You can still eat a meal with the blood in your hands. You can still make a deal with the blood in your hands. You can feel welcome here with the blood in your hands. God, something coming to you.
What I'm hearing from y'all is that trust is incredibly important and it's been earned. How does that show up in recordings for y'all now that you're like 10 years deep and you've just worked on a new album?
Oh, that's so fun. This time around, this is a different almost dynamic to the way that we've kind of written in the past. Like it wasn't and it was. I think that this time around, like this music is a lot like more, I don't want to say like mathematical, but I feel like the songs are just like a lot more complex and like very high drive. And some of it we were kind of writing like still even in the studio, and that's like a process together of like down to the wire, like it's time to go now. But then, I mean, like I can tell so much when I listen to this album, which we just kind of like finalized like all of our yeses on, how much Willow and I have been, or Jane and I have been working like with our melodies for so long, and the way that we play off each other, and like that balance that we found that is just like, it's so rageful and it's so sweet at the same time, which is like such a fun like duality to hold.
Speaking of that duality, I feel like there are so many dualities in y'all's music, and it's like the reconciliation of like contrasting ideas is, I mean, I feel like it's even in the name itself, like Cheap Perfume, right? And so it's just really amazing to me how you all will take rage and vulnerability, talking about real things within your lives and being able to perform them in folks and like in front of people, and being able to make some sort of powerful ephemeral manifesto in that point in time. Can you all just speak a bit more to like the spirit of that in punk music? Because I just don't think a lot of people understand the component pieces that go into the rage of punk and like where that comes from. Can y'all talk about that?
I think, I think a lot of when we're writing songs, there's a lot of times where we like stop, especially some of the songs on the new album where we're kind of like, is this what we are as a band? Is this like what we want to, this doesn't like fit our thing, and we think we should be doing one thing, which we do a lot of a certain thing, but it's like important for us to stop in the process and be like, we're like complete people, you know? We're not just one thing. So there's like something that comes out of us that isn't necessarily like on brand, it's still valid, you know? So everything, like all the contrasts are all like just part of who we are, and that's like a human experience, you know? That'll probably make more sense when you hear the album. But that's all of us as people. I mean, Stephanie's not just like a raging mean girl who wants to yell at you all the time. She's actually like a very polite, sweet, delicate person who has some inner rage.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And Jeffrey's also like not just a hard bassist, but a soft boy at heart. I think that like it's so cool how, you know, like there's been times that I've expressed like ideas, especially to Jane, and we do a lot of those lyrics together, and it's cool because even if one of us has like, you know, like an idea, we'll bring it to the other one and just be like, okay, like here's kind of what I was thinking, we'll go over some words and like cadences and like restructure together, which has been like a really cool thing because I feel like I'm like so short and ragey, and like I like to quip, and Willow Jane is like such a talented like writer and editor, and so like very well thought out like intellectual like opinions, and kind of crashing those worlds together is neat. And then as Jeff said, like just like the whole of the human experience, so like being able to talk about like sexual assault and other things like that, and like having Jane understand like just the feelings that I was channeling. I mean, and that takes so much vulnerability and trust even between the two of you. And then like being able to bring that to other folks, like I think that is almost just like a repeating cycle that like keeps on giving, because as soon as like we started talking about these really hard, heavy things on stage, it was, you know, like just like an outpouring of messages, or people at shows just being like, that happened to me too, and like, ooh, sorry, I get a little teary, but it's like, so it was really triggering at first. Took a really long time to figure out the right way to work within that, but I think it's so cool that like this like rage and this like joy and all these feelings that we have as humans in our own experience like are so shared in music and like with other people.
How do you explain why nobody ever wants to be around you, but somehow they're the ones who don't understand like you do. Take a hard look in the mirror at your passive-aggressive behavior. Pick and choose what's convenient to believe in, and criticize everyone who dares to think for themselves. I dare you think for yourself. How can you ignore all the warriors who pave their way through bullshit so you can have a voice that you're wasting on the internet? No, we didn't invent feminism. We're just fighting for inclusion. Do you really think you've got the edge on this? Your mind's as cold as a Christian fundamentalist. You pick and choose what's convenient to believe in, and criticize everyone who dares to think for themselves. How dare you think for yourself? Are you to call shots on behalf of survivors when you don't even know where to stand the way that I do? Take a long look in the mirror. You're complicit in this behavior. I'm not a pawn in your militant politics, not affecting the rehabilitation process. How is it so hard to understand that sex and gender are different? Do the work yourself, look it up on the internet. We're not buying turf delusions. We'll keep fighting for inclusion. Do you really think you've got the edge on this? Your mind's as close as a faux feminist. You pick and choose what's convenient to believe in, and criticize everyone who dares to think for themselves. How dare you think for yourself? Thank you.
I think it was King or somebody who said that a riot is the outcry of people who've been unheard. What kind of band do you have to have behind you in order for you to feel like you can make that statement and be safe?
Ooh. I mean, these like people, you know, it's I think I met Jeff when I was like 16 or 17, and that was almost 20 years ago. So a lot of gratitude in just having known these like characters around town and in the music scene. And then I think it's just like that kind of understanding that like even if we're not all for the same people and we don't like hold the exact same opinions on everything, that our values are very similar, and that like no matter like what I say or do, like we're all still acting within our values within the band. So I think that that's like a very big, like powerful part of it.
I think honestly, we're all very different people. And Stephanie and Jane are like very different, and I think that like really makes the writing come out very unique and very cool. But we're all very different. We're all very different people, but like Stephanie said, I think 20 to 30 year relationships between all of us, like in different ways. So it's like we trust each other and we love each other, and we have the same like band fights that everybody has. But
Oh, I mean, actually, if I feel like kind of less when certain things come out. I'm like, oh no, we're actually really not so bad.
yeah, I mean, and we're very, I don't know, like writing or planning tours or whatever we're doing, there's a lot of like, I think this, but you think this, and like, that's valid too. Let's like figure it out.
Yeah, teamwork.
Teamwork. How did growing up in Colorado Springs, which back in the day was like one of the strongholds of the United States conservative movement, focus on the family, all of those things, like military bases, like how do you think that informed where you are like now, politically and musically?
Oh, I could go on for so long about this. I think that for me, like, I'm really grateful to kind of have had like this very specific Colorado Springs experience where like grew up and like even went to New Life for a very short period of time after leaving my parents' like alternative spirituality. I rebelled by going to Christianity. It's the most like Colorado Springs shit you can possibly do. But I think that like coming out of that too, I've like always been in the restaurant industry, and so I've like gotten to know all kind of like different peoples from different cultures, and so it's created like a different kind of awareness in me to understand, I mean, like obviously privilege, but then just like perspective, just other people's like situations. And so I feel really grateful for like the way that I came up through Colorado Springs, but what would you say like your?
Colorado Springs has like a relatively small, but like very tight and cool, like progressive music scene, kind of like hipster community. And because it's relatively small, like for the population of the city, I think it's like much more kind of accepting. There's not like somebody at a show who kind of is like, you think this one specific thing, so you're not my friend. It's kind of like, we're all kind of in this together. You're kind of like surrounded by the opposition to some extent. So it's kind of like, hey, like we might not agree on everything, but like you play music, I play music, we're cool.
It's counterculture. I mean, and that's kind of the thing. I feel like, yeah, like you said, like if you're surrounded by the enemy, it's like you're, you know.
But I've been in Denver for 15 years now, and it's like, is the counterculture in Denver even counter? It's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's just everyone I see every day, you know, which kind of makes there a lot more like squabbles within the counterculture, you know? In Colorado Springs, it's just kind of like, if you're kind of cool, you're like in the friend group.
Like out of survival, you all like link up.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, and that was kind of like the crucible out of which y'all were born, type of thing.
I would say, yeah. And it was a lot of like just everybody's going to everybody's shows and hanging out, and we get a lot less like touring acts down there, so there was a lot more like focus on local shows for a long time, and just a good community of like cool people.
Awesome.
And I think, yeah, like having to rely on each other through, you know, especially in a town like that, and having any kind of like a different like, you know, like gender identity, like, you know, I guess anything besides being like a cis, like straight Christian person, you like, there were so limited places like to go, and so I think that, you know, like it's also, the scene is protected down there in kind of that way, that it's like, you know, like it's small, we gotta watch out for each other.
The last thing I want to talk, just like, Stephanie, when you perform, it seems like such a pure expression of freedom and joy. And I think that's just so important for people to see and feel now. How do you hold on to that?
Again, I think that like being in those environments, so often I'm talking about things that I know I'm like so not alone in. And so I think that it's, I guess, yeah, remembering just how not alone I am, not falling into like the shame of anything. So if I mess up or anything, it's okay. Like I'm just a person and I can keep going. And I did mess up many times, and I do, and I will again. But it is just that remembering that, again, this is like an exchange between all of us, and that power that those folks are feeling in that moment, like how do we keep that going like forever? I mean, like, you know, it's again, exchange. It's just like, how could I not be joyful even talking about hard things when I'm sharing this experience with so many different people?
Cheap Perfume, thank y'all so very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're amazing. All right.
thick of the trees. Both of us are there, only one of us leaves. In the dark of the night, in the thick of the trees. Both of us are there, only one of us leaves. In the dark of the night, in the thick of the trees. Both of us are there, only one of us leaves. In the dark of the night, in the thick of the trees. Both of us are there, only one of us leaves. In the dark of the night, in the thick of the trees. Both of us are there, only one of us leaves. In the dark of the night, thick of the trees. Both of us are there, only one of us leaves. In the dark of the night, in the thick of the trees. Both of us are there, only one of us leaves. Dark of the night, in the thick of the trees. Both of us are there, only one of us leaves. In the dark of the night, in the thick of the trees. Both of us are there, only one of us leaves. In the dark of the night, in the thick of the trees. Both of us are there, only one of us leaves.
If you enjoyed watching Sounds on 29th, we hope you'll support PBS 12 to help bring you more fun, grassroots local music programming. Visit pbs12.org/program support and donate today.